All right, everybody. My name is Dr. Strong, and I just wanted to come on here and show you all a client success story of mine and just talk about her journey and what she was experiencing. And we're just going to kind of dive into what was going on and what it was like working with me. So I just want to introduce Miss Bria. So Miss Bria, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bria, and I've just been working with Dr. Strong, and I'm here to tell my story.
Perfect. So, Miss Bria, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, what your job is, and kind of like what was going on. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, yeah. It started back when I was a college athlete, is when I noticed a lot of health issues coming, and just constant sickness, everyday headaches, achiness. I mean, just living in a fog, basically. And being an athlete, that was hard to find the strength to play and to get better. And as even when sports ended, I was like, okay, maybe it's the stress of sports, I'll be okay, I'll get better. And it didn't, and it just kept going. And now I'm a PE teacher, so I still needed that energy every day. And it's hard to run around with kids when your head is pounding or your body's aching or your stomach feels awful. So it's like I knew I needed help, and someone recommended Dr. Strong and recommended you, and yeah, so I started working with you, and here I am today, feeling much better. Just definitely kind of turned my life around, got me out of that fog of like every day having to take medicine. And I mean, it was just a constant like opening a pill bottle, just trying to get through the day. I'm like, I hate to take medicine, but if I don't, I'm just going to like walk through this day, like, and I don't want to live that way. I'm such a person that's like full of life and wants to like have each day to make it the best day there is. And I'm like, how am I going to make this the best day if I have a headache? So let me just take some medicine. And it was just a constant cycle that I felt like was never going to be ending. I had talked to doctors on doctors and doctors. I mean, my stack of paperwork is like this thick. I had seen another doctor and they're like, why do you have so much paperwork? I'm like, I am sick. Like, and then I was tested for an immune disease that thought I had lupus because my mom does. I do not have lupus. So they just kind of ruled it, oh, you have fibromyalgia, which to me is like, we don't really know what you have, which is a very real thing. But it's like, they were like, well, we can just give you medicine. And like, that just wasn't okay to me. Like, I'm too young. I'm way too young for that. I have full life ahead of me. I have a career that I love. So I needed to fix. I needed something from within to get fixed, so I wasn't having to just fix problems constantly. So yeah.
Perfect. That was great. So why did you choose to work with me? What was it about me and kind of talking to you that you felt like this was the right decision?
Yeah, so I said you were recommended by actually a chiropractor I was going to fix my headaches. And as we talked and the more I went and my headaches were not getting better, he was like, I really think I need to recommend you to Dr. Strong. And so I kind of looked you up and I was like, I was always skeptical because I had worked with so many doctors and they never helped me, that it was just like, okay, am I just going to pour out a few more $1,000s for no reason? So the more I researched you and kind of saw that you really like helped women a lot and kind of try to go the natural way and not just like pump me with medicine.
Mhm.
And I think one thing that was good for me is you looked at each person as an individual. So like my level may be normal for someone else, but for me it's not. And you really dive deep into like people as individuals and what they do on a daily basis, what they eat, and so why their level could be that way, instead of just like oh, you're in the normal range, because really there's not a normal range for that everyone fits into. So I think that was important to me because I knew that I wasn't in the normal range for all these things because I had seen so many doctors. So I knew that if you could dive deep into like my specific life and like my daily habits and my eating habits and what I did specific to me, that you might could help me. So that's kind of really what pulled me to you, is just how you dive deep into people as individuals and you really get to talk to them and get to know them. So I think that was really kind of what drove me to your practice.
Okay, perfect. So kind of tell us about the problems that you were experiencing, just kind of like a little bit. I know you said like migraines were an issue and then some gut problems. So can you tell us a little bit more about like what you were experiencing just daily?
Yeah. So every day I woke up, the first thing I did was I went to the cabinet. I took a bunch of pills because I would just wake up just like throbbing migraine. Um, I I had gained weight too, and I thought it, was from, oh, I'm not playing sports
Mhm.
as much as I did, so I just, oh, it's normal weight gain, but or yeah, weight gain, which is could be some of it, but it just, I used to like lose weight, gain weight really easily as an athlete. They're like, oh, you need to gain weight. Oh, you need to lose weight. And it was just something I was used to. And I had gained weight that like was just, it was stubborn. It was uncomfortable. It almost looked like swollen instead of like weight. I don't know how to explain that, but more like water weight. It was weird. And I literally, like, the first thing I did was open my eyes and be like, oh, my head is killing me. And like that's a
Mhm.
terrible way to wake up every day. Because you're like, oh, good morning to you. Like, get this day started with a migraine. So that was kind of what I did. I woke up, I would grab some food, take all my medicine, and pray that it got better so that I could enjoy my day. And usually it would for a few hours, and then it'd get bad again. And then my stomach would hurt. And so then I'm like, oh, I feel nauseous. Like I constantly was like, I'm nauseous, I'm nauseous. Um, and so it was just never, I like to have fun. Like I said, I'm young, full of energy. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun lifestyle. With those migraines and having to just pop pills all the time. And then people are like, gosh, you take a lot of medicine. I'm like, yeah, well, if you felt like I did, you'd probably take a lot of medicine too.
Mhm.
Um, and so it was almost like I felt like I was being judged for taking medicine. Like I felt like people were like, there's no way you feel that bad all the time.
Mhm.
People doubted that I felt that way because it was so, they're like, you're always sick. Like, I'm like, I know. And that's the problem. Like, you don't understand. Like, I understand that. So I think that kind of weighed on me too, is like other people not understanding how bad I felt and thinking that, oh, I'm just a complainer and, oh, I just want to whine. So I think, mentally, physically, all around my life was just kind of like in a down. Um, and people were like, well, you may just have to live with that. You may just have chronic migraines. You may just have stomach issues. That may just be something you're going to have to deal with. And I'm like, no, like I was like 19 years old, 20 years old or
Mhm.
something. And I'm like, like that is not acceptable. Like we are way too young for this. And so that's when I just kind of like, it was doctor after doctor. And then it was kind of like that lost hope of like, maybe they're right. Maybe I do have to live with it. And then finally I found someone that was like, no, like I got you. And so from then it's just been, yeah, it's just been better.
Okay, great. And then, so since we've kind of been working together, because it wasn't kind of like an overnight thing, but we've
Right.
been really diving into kind of what's been going on with you. How has your life changed since then?
Oh, it's changed really dramatically. And people are like, oh, I'm sure it hasn't. No, like it really has. When you open your eyes in the morning and your head's not pounding and you can actually be like, wow, like good morning, like beautiful day. Like
Right.
that right changes your life. Like just that one like split second of when you open your eyes in the morning. That's life changing. And I came off the caffeine, which I think made a huge difference. So all these things that like I wouldn't have thought to come off, like it was sweet tea. Like I'm here from the South. Like that's what I drank every day. Like that's just my thing. Like that was normal. I didn't ever think of it as like, oh, I'm addicted to caffeine, or, oh, what I'm eating is, oh, this gravy. Like I really shouldn't be eating that. All these, like, especially here in the South, like what we eat. And so when I drank my sweet tea every day, I never once thought that, oh, this could be harming me. In the first week I came off caffeine, I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like this is awful. And I never thought I was addicted to it. And I realized I was. And I think too, some of that, like every time I slept in, I was like, yes, I finally get to sleep in. And I woke up feeling awful. I'm like, and I think maybe it could have been like I didn't have caffeine in so long. I was so addicted to it, didn't even know. Or, the dairy. Coming off that has made a huge difference as far as like I'm not as achy. Like it caused like inflammation. I always was like, oh, my lymph nodes, oh, like my sinuses. So that has been like one of the biggest things for me, which again, I never would have thought about that. Like, oh, you think, okay, like don't drink milk. Well, it's like
Mhm.
way more than that. Like
Mhm.
all the sour cream, all the cheese, the butter, like, and like I feel better. Like I feel so much better about my body. I feel better in general. I have more energy. And like one thing too is I used to fall asleep driving like really bad,
Oh, wow.
constantly. Like I would just like knock out. And then oh, you got a sleep problem. Like, no, like I sleep. And I've noticed with the gluten, like that actually has helped that. Um, and I know, like, I kind of teetered back and forth with the gluten. I'm like, oh, let me try it again. Like,
Mhm.
it's okay. It's okay if I do it this time. And then I notice all these symptoms like, oh, wait, my body's kind of hurting. I should stop. So it's just those simple things you would never think of that can really be life changing. And fixing my stomach too, like not being nauseous all the time, like having normal bowel movements, like all of that. Um, it all, like every little thing you put it together is really life altering, especially at you know how young I am and how much like I'm trying to start my career and how I'm going to do that with a headache every day. How I'm going to do that like when I'm trying to teach my kiddos in gym and
Mhm.
they're like, come play with us. And I'm like, I can't, like, I hurt too bad. Like, that's just, it's not acceptable. And now I can do all those things and I can enjoy doing it. And I can wake up happy and go to sleep happy. And it really has just made a difference. And like, even my mom has noticed because she, fought this with me for so long about she would make me appointment after appointment and pay all these medical bills for me. And she was like, pretty much had lost hope too. She's like, I don't know, like, I don't know what to tell you. And now she like recommends like you to everybody. She's
Yeah.
like, it's changed her life. Like she feels so good, and it's true. Like your energy, like it's like I have my old daughter back,
Mhm.
which is awesome. Just to see my mom happy about how I am. So it's definitely changing.
So if there was somebody on the fence for booking a call or coming on and speaking with me, what would you tell them?
Oh, I'd tell them to do it 100%. And like even when I told my mom like I was gonna reach out to you, she was like, I don't know, Bria, like you've tried so many people, like what if it's just like a scam, or what if he just wants your money, or all these normal questions you ask with doctors or with people that can say they change your life. Like everyone's gonna be like, like, can you really? And I would tell them if you're on the fence, like 100% go for it because it's so worth it to feel better. Like I would give anything, to feel this way, and I do now, and I never regret it. I feel amazing. I would do it over 100 times. So yeah, if you're on the fence, go for it because it's so worth it. You will not regret it, and it's not like any other doctor. It's not like going in and seeing someone and like I don't feel like he has all these other patients. I feel like it's kind of just me and him. Like he's
Mhm.
like, okay, I got you back. And some doctors you can just tell they're busy and they're like, well, it's normal. I don't know what to tell you, or whatever. Not hating on doctors, like they're amazing. Um, but yeah, if you're on the fence, go for it. You won't regret it. So and two, like there's things that we've done that I'm like, okay, I don't know if I feel better yet. Like and so he looks at different things and he's like, okay. I was like, well, I kind of feel this way. So he looks deeper into what I have going on. So it's never ending. It's not like, okay, you're better, like bye. Like he's always there to help. Like, yeah. So even if you have something else pop up that's bothering you, like Dr. Strong's he's gonna help you. So you're not gonna feel like you're put on the back burner, or you're just there to like help promote his business or whatever. Like he really truly cares to help, and you can feel it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. And yeah, Thanks for taking the time. If anybody has any questions, please just don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me at the Strong Health Institute or Todd Strong CFMP on Facebook. And I'm just here to help as many people as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.